All right, welcome everybody to our 2021 Baikoen Winter Silhouette Show. It's a virtual show this year, and we're really excited to display our trees online. And so hopefully you'll be watching this. Um, our our name of our club is called Baikoen Bonsai Kenkyukai, and Baikoen uh, means translation the fragrance of the plum flower. Our one of our founders, Frank Nagata, had a nursery in West LA, and it was Baikoen, and that was part of the name of his bonsai nursery. So he and Khan adopted this name for our study group, and so it's Baikoen Bonsai, bonsai, and Kenkyukai means study group. So that's what that definition is. And so we usually like to have, if possible, to have a beautiful ume tree to commemorate the name and our background and history of our club. All right, well, enjoy our show. All right, thank you everyone. Happy New Year. First up is Kathy Benson's 27-inch high trident maple Formosana, which means it has smaller leaves than normal. Purchased 25-year-old tree 35 years ago. Immediately started layering roots to create beautiful nabari. This is Kentei's 20-inch high Japanese maple forest. Started only 3 years ago. Tom Lau's 20-inch high Ume Peggy Clark, trained for 6 years, but previously in the ground 6 more years. Lindsay Shiba's 21-inch high Korean hornbeam, imported natural Yamadori from Korea, purchased from Kim's Bonsai in early 90s. Began with a few branches and nice tapering trunk. Alex Marion's 28-inch high ginkgo forest, seedling started from a tree he planted 30 years ago. Dave Miles' 21-inch high trident maple, purchased from Jim Barrett 8 years ago. The 8-inch cork elm was layered by Dave in 2010. Tom Lau's Princess Persimmon, trained 5 to 6 years, but originally started by seed from Takshimazu over 20 years ago. Notice the beautiful fruit and the twiggy branches. Next up is Shirley Kwan's corkbark elm, started from a 4-inch pot, purchased from San Gabriel Nursery about 12 years ago. Tom Vong's 16-inch high pomegranate was an urban dory dug 7.5 years ago from a friend's yard. Jack Reynolds 32-inch high Oriental liquid amber. Approximate age is 25 to 30 years old. Purchased from Ray Blassingame 17 years ago in his field-grown area. Notice the seed pods on this old tree. Nick Cap's cork elm, Shohin size, grown from root cuttings only 2 years ago. Bob Pressler's Catlin elm. Richard Oda was given some of the first generation cuttings where this came from. It was donated in a raffle to one of Bob's students' grandfather, who got it in the 60s as a 5-gallon container. Came to Bob in 2008 to 2009. This is Joe Galgoul's pine bark maple, Awakawa. 20-inch high, purchased from Ed Clark only 2 to 3 years ago. Steve Valentine's corkbark elm, over 30 years in training. Notice the pot was created by Jim Barrett with the Baikoen logo on it. The Year of the Ox accent was added for this new year. Okay, on behalf of Baikoen Bonsai Kenkyukai, we're presenting this award to Steve. It's the Nagara Komai Award, which says for excellence of instruction and encouragement in the art of bonsai. And we got the date wrong. He did the 19th, it's supposed to be the 16th. But anyway, and then this actually came from Mr. Komai's
wonderful.
House, or collection at house. It's Hinoki wood.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it looks like Hinoki. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
And then it has this school.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, thank you.
So,
thank you so
thank
much.
you.
Oh, that's so nice. You know, Mr. Koma, both Frank and Con and Grandma Kay were all instrumental in my bonsai, for many, many years. I read every word that, that Con wrote in California Bonsai way, way back, and I just loved him. He had such a great outlook on bonsai and really got me interested in a lot of bonsai materials, so it's wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Take a picture of your tree.
Huh?
Take a picture of your tree and plaque and a new shirt.
Hurry up so I can change back.
Oh, come on this side. Yeah,
Do you
right
want
there.
the white? Aren't you doing the
You'll never know what year it is unless you
And
put
the
your mask
bottom
on.
line is, I can never do any of this without my wife. She's the hard worker.
Okay.
I'm kind of the lazy guy. So,
Yay, Carrie! Woo!
she works way harder than I do.
You want to get in the picture? You want to
Yeah,
get
they
in
should take a picture with Terry in it.
Yeah, come on, sweetheart.
Oh, God, all right.
Oh, that wasn't very hard to convince.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Good. Whoa.
I'm not doing it.
I know, I always get...
I'll get you.
Oh, the balance, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that
But
has
it
a
doesn't go.
lot.
Those are dangerous chairs.
Steve, you have another tree, it was a smaller one, correct?
I do have, yeah.
Okay.
That one was actually air layered off of this one. This is the first one that was air layered off of the
The
big
sport,
tree that was
yeah.
about 5 feet tall. This, and it was just, the original tree was not cork. This tree is a cork, and it was just like a weird little thing, and he air layered it off, and it turned out to be like this. And then the other 2 or 3 or 4 that I have all came off successive air layers of this original tree.
Are they all cork?
Pardon me? They're all cork.
I know.
I'm not sure if it's a water buffalo or a ox.
Well, we're calling it a water.
No, we're calling it an ox.
Oh, an ox, that's right.
That's right.
Smile!
There you go.
This is Ed Mervine's Zelkova Forest, started only 2 years ago from cuttings purchased from a Shohin convention. Ted Matson's 24-inch high Chinese quince, grown in the ground from a 4-inch pot and cultivated for over 30 years. Michael Roberts' Mariana Plum was air-layered from a family orchard 20 years ago and shown this year in remembrance of his father, who passed last July. Notice the olive Daisa was also from the orchard. This is Jim Barrett's Korean hornbeam, imported in the 70s from field-grown material, started about 1-inch diameter. Jim's Japanese hornbeam was cultivated from seedlings from Cleveland, Ohio, and it started out only 3 inches tall in the 70s. This is Shirley Kwan's 18-inch tall contorted quince, purchased as a 2-inch pot from Evergreen Nursery 10 years ago. Charlene and Shirley, we'd like to thank you for hosting our virtual show at their home. Without you, we wouldn't have our show this year. Thanks again.